So I love hanging out with 11-year-olds, and I spend a lot of time knocking on doors in my neighborhood to tell my neighbors this. Not because I'm legally obligated or because you're gonna find my name on some government website, but because how else am I gonna find more 11-year-olds to hang out with? But knocking on doors is weird, I get it. Case in point, I'm knocking on this guy's door. The guy is Thurman, and I'm inviting him and his family to a neighborhood devotional gathering. I've never met Thurman before, but I've been spending a lot of time hanging out with his kids as part of a neighborhood group of junior youth. And as I'm telling him about the group and its focus on service and spiritual empowerment, he gets excited and invites me in to talk more. Everything is going great, but then something switches in his head and he's not so excited anymore. Yeah, so I love what you do with my boys, and you got a business card? No, I don't. It's just like something I do in the neighborhood. See, I'm just catching a feeling right now, like, you professional, right? Then where's your business card? No, where's your location at? No, I don't want to see no book, no website. If you can't show me your business card right now, then you got to leave, simple as that. I couldn't show him a business card, so I left, wondering, what can I give this guy that's going to help him trust me? So like I said, knocking on doors can get a little weird, but I do it because every Saturday for the last 3 years, I've been working with a junior youth group in my neighborhood. Before I moved there, I was living at the World Center of the Baha'i Faith in Haifa, Israel, offering a period of religious service. I'm a Baha'i, and Baha'is around the world see humanity's destiny and its unity, and are actively learning how to achieve this goal in a space as simple as a neighborhood. And I was reading about these Baha'is around the world doing these neighborhood activities. And in my head, they were like these community building pioneers. And I want to be there, on the front lines, contributing to the spiritual transformation of a community. As luck would have it, my friend Aaron was in DC, doing this very thing in a neighborhood in Northeast called Edgewood. And he had found some junior youth who were interested in being part of a group. And Aaron and I wanted to live in the neighborhood to be more connected to them. So we found a good deal in a rental and we moved in. Now, just a little bit about Edgewood. The first night that we moved in, Aaron's now wife, Elena, was helping us. She pulls up, gets out of her car, and then we hear, Miss Barroso, what is you doing here? This is the ghetto. It was one of her high school students, Jasmine, welcoming us to the neighborhood. Now, I could have lived in DuPont or Cleveland Park like your average DC young professional post-grad school government employee. Neighborhoods where you can get your Earth Bowl and froyo at Sweet Green after your 6:30 Bikram yoga class all on your walk home. But I chose to live in Edgewood, where someone was stabbed and killed on my block. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Earth Bowls and yoga, but I was looking for a different kind of convenience. I wanted to be in a place where I could do my spiritual practice, which is to get to know and work with neighbors who see the same possibilities I see in empowering young people. But in the beginning, we had no idea what we were doing. We did know that engaging junior youth in prayer were important, but we weren't really sure how to go about doing this. So we thought, you know what? Why don't we just invite as many junior youth over to our house as possible, none of who we really know, to pray and eat and get to know each other better. And in my head, this was going to be like the most amazing devotional gathering. Like, we're going to end up on the cover of the American Baha'i magazine with the headline, Youth Devotional in Nation's Capital, Unites Neighborhood, Ends Hunger. The night of the devotional gathering, we set up the house, we arranged the chairs in a nice little circle, we put out an array of prayer books, poetry books, and the like. We made a huge pot of pasta with veggies and red sauce, we put out drinks. I mean, we really set up a beautiful space. And then they came, and they were running all over the house, checking everything out, moving things around, climbing on the walls, literally. We finally managed to get them to kind of gather in the main room. Okay, guys, welcome. Thank you for coming. This is a devotional gathering, so happy that you could be here. Hey, guys, if you could just put down your cell phones and stop talking for like 3 seconds, that would be really helpful. Anyway, so like I said, this is a devotional gathering, and what do you guys think about prayer? What's that? No, I am not Bruno Mars. Very funny. My name is PJ. You know, why don't we just pass out the prayer books? Everyone take one, find one you like, and guys, in the back, if you could just sit down in the chair rather than on each other, that would be really helpful. Thank you. Somehow we managed to get a couple prayers out, and afterwards we served the pasta, and they were all like, ew, that's not pasta. What's all that red sauce? Literally, all of them said that. Apparently to them, pasta meant macaroni and cheese. We had made like 4 boxes of pasta, but I had to let the pasta go because I looked around and noticed that more and more youth were coming into the house, youth that I didn't know and hadn't invited. And then I noticed that a lot of the youth that were already there were furiously texting, and that their texting seemed to be correlating with the appearance of more and more of these youth that I didn't know. And then I go downstairs into the basement, and the lights are off, and the couch is full of boys sitting on top of girls. And as I'm walking up the stairs to the basement, a kid comes racing down, and as he passes me, he stops and says with a huge smile on his face and a drink in his hand, "Hey, when y'all having another party?" And it's at this point I realize I'm hosting a party for teenagers. This is not a devotional gathering. It's time for you to go home. At the end of the night, I was sitting on my couch holding my head thinking, what just happened? Did the prayers we said tonight even count? Am I the worst baha'i ever? But it was a chaotic situation and I was just done with it, so I kicked everybody out. And I wasn't really sure how I was gonna be able to keep going with it at all, but Aaron and I managed to start a junior youth group, and we've had one for the last 3 years. And in that time, we've gotten much, much better at it. But even today, it's still not always a walk in the park. For example, a couple of weeks ago, we're going to meet up with our junior youth group to play football when we overhear one of them, Chris, say, "They want to jump me? Nah, they can't touch me. I'm going to mess them up." Wait, Chris, who wants to jump you? Khalil and Little Man. Khalil and Little Man are in our group too, and yeah, I can see that. So I ask him, why? "Man, I don't know. Somebody stole his Wi-Fi password. Man, he gave me that password. And then he started saying all this stuff about my mother. So I started saying stuff about his." And I'm thinking to myself, wait, so this beef is over a Wi-Fi password? But I'm the adult here, and like I said, I've gotten much better at this. So when Khalil and Little Man show up, I break the news to them that there's not gonna be a fight. They didn't get the memo. Fists are connecting with faces. I'm holding Khalil back, but Chris and Little Man are landing punches. I'm shouting for them to use your words. They're tumbling into the streets. Cars are whizzing by. Blood is starting to flow. It's chaos. Aaron manages to break the fight up long enough for Chris to get away, but not before he's busted his lip and started to cry. And I'm thinking to myself, these kids are part of the same group whose fundamental purpose is friendship, so why are they fighting with each other? I thought about just going home at this point and catching up on the latest episode of New Girl and over a latte, but as I watched Chris running home, I decided that I should be there with him, so I started to run too. We all ended up outside of Chris's apartment building where his mom, Nicole, who had just called for backup, was now screaming at Khalil and Little Man. And then Chris comes out of the apartment building holding a knife. Granted, it was a butter knife, but still, it was pretty chaotic. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe now it's time for me to go home. Should I even be here right now? Am I the worst baha'i ever? That's when I turn and see Thurman. This is not what he needs to be able to trust me. And all I can hear in my head is, you know what will solve this? A business card. Simple as that. Fortunately, things did not escalate. Khalil and Little Man's moms came out and we were able to calm things down and talk it out. Khalil and Little Man apologized to Chris. Chris's mom called off the backup and Chris put down the butter knife. Everything seemed to be getting resolved, but there was still one piece that was up in the air for me, and that was Thurman. What did he think of all this? That's when he called me over and he said, "Hey man, why don't you come talk to my wife, tell her about this program you got going on with my kids." So I did, and we had an amazing conversation, and she and Thurman are turning out to be those neighbors that I'm always looking for, who see the same possibilities I see and are willing to work together to achieve them. So because I stayed, that night I was able to enjoy my episode of New Girl and Latte with the contentment of knowing that I had found more neighbors to work with. When I was at the Baha'i World Center, reading about these community building pioneers and wanting to be there serving in a neighborhood, I don't know if this is what I expected or if I knew what to expect at all. One thing I have learned is that you just have to be there, and I am. Knocking on doors, breaking up fights, dealing with chaos. And I still don't have a business card because this is my life, and there's just not a business card for that. Thank you.